Citrus TV news reporter Yao Bonsu here, joined by a very special guest. She's the first ever African American to be named editor-in-chief of the Syracuse Law Review, and she's a fellow Ghanaian. It is Miss Hilda Frimpong. Hilda, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for this interview. Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time. Now, off the bat, what was your first reaction to hearing the news? Because this is a law review that has been around for 72 years. And for you to be the first African American in the top position, it must feel good.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I think like when we were doing elections, I'm not sure that we were aware of like how historic this moment was. I don't think we had knowledge. I think especially in our generation, we're just naturally more progressive and we probably just assumed like, this has happened before, right? So I think it's just really exciting for all of us to be a part of this. And I'm just really proud because like we're all part of this moment. The members, our executive board, we were all elected by each other. So it's really exciting that this, and also that this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them. So it's exciting to be a part of this, but I don't think that we had any idea what it meant when I found out that I was elected.
And you come from humble beginnings, born in Ghana, raised in Dallas. My family's actually from there. I took the journey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took the journey a few years back. It was great, but everybody knows it's not the best place. It's not the media, the technology empire that the United States is. So tell me about that journey from growing up in Kumasi and eventually gaining that interest in law as your life went on.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I don't take anything for granted. Coming from humble, backgrounds and of humble upbringings, as you put it, you just appreciate education. You appreciate every opportunity that's in front of you, and you want to seize every opportunity that's in front of you. And just also seeing my parents, come to this country and work hard to, essentially live the American dream. I appreciate, all the opportunities and the sacrifices that they've made so that I can pursue an education and I can pursue my dreams. And, going to law school, I've just always been interested in how law shapes society. And given my background in business, I was just naturally kind of like attracted to law and technology and that kind of intersection. So, I just really appreciate my background because it helps me to always kind of stay grounded and never take any of these moments for granted. And it's really exciting when, I spoke with my grandmother and to see how excited that she is and how happy she is, it really touches me because she didn't have the opportunity to go to school, and so to be able to live this moment, I think it makes my family proud and it makes me proud too.
And you speak about background. For you, your boundaries, expand way beyond law. And that includes competing in the Miss Universe pageant. You were actually crowned Miss Universe Ghana. So two different worlds, the world of pageant competition and the world of law. Tell me how that experience helped you become the law figure you are today.
Yeah, pageantry is exciting. I think, unfortunately, there is I think like when you think about pageantry, a lot of people just think about the competition that they see on television, particularly with the Miss Universe competition. But there was a lot of training and a lot of work that goes into even making it on that stage, training your body, being able to answer very controversial questions on the fly, being able to walk into rooms with, very intimidating people and knowing how to be poised and handle yourself. So another part of it is a nonprofit work. So a lot of my pageantry work was tied to working with different nonprofit organizations. And I think for me, I guess that ties into the advocacy part of law. And also even in this position as a editor-in-chief, I mean, in some sense, I will be advocating for the best interest of the members and of the organization. So I do see some overlap in the skills that I developed with pageantry in law and also in my position on law review. So it's interesting, right? Because when you think of pageantry, those aren't the things that you think of, right? You think of the glamorous parts, and it's very glamorous and it's very exciting, but there's a lot of work that also goes into it.
And when you look at the Syracuse Law Review, I mentioned before, 72 years. That's how long it took to have somebody such as yourself in the position. So when you're going for this job, when you're going for this position, did it ever go through your head that, wow, what I want to do, it may seem impossible, or did you know that the boundaries are just endless?
I think in my mind, I've always just I go for things that I'm passionate about. And like I mentioned, I wasn't even really aware, and I don't think there's a way to verify. It wasn't, we didn't verify this information until afterwards. So for me, it was just more so that I wanted to contribute to the law review because it's been a very enriching experience for me. And I originally joined because I really wanted to hone in on my writing skills, my legal writing skills. And I thought that law review would be the best way to do that. But as I wanted to be on the executive board as a 3L in any capacity that I could to help income in 2Ls, and just to be able to move the law review's mission forward, because it is student run and it is student led. So it relies and it depends on us to keep it moving forward. So I don't think I thought about that, right? So that was all kind of afterwards that this information was presented to me, and I think it just makes it a little bit more exciting, and particularly because it was during Black History Month, so it was just a little bit more special. And I'm happy to be able to break barriers in any way that I can, and to move the needle forward. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that when I was necessarily running, because I didn't know that that was actually a fact. I've heard rumors, but I wasn't really sure that I would be the first editor in chief, the first Black editor in chief.
And in your time within the law industry before the Syracuse Law Review announcement, did you ever encounter any challenges regarding race or regarding gender in terms of positions, or where your job was going to be and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm sure I have, and I think it would be unfair to say otherwise. But as a woman of color, it's sometimes hard to discern whether what you're experiencing is because of your race or your gender. It's hard to decipher between the two sometimes. But yeah, I'm sure I have. But I don't really tie my value to what others or how others perceive me. And so, I think in my head, I've always thought that was their problem. That's not ever going to hold me back from what I want to do because of any bias that someone has in regards to my race, gender, age, whatever it may be. But yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I've encountered it. But, that's one of the challenges of being a woman of color in particular. You never really know. You're never really able to narrow it down to say it's because of my race.
You mentioned previously that you wanted to confirm the fact that you were the first African American to be in the position. So when you found out, did you think about those, little African American girls who one day want to be in your position? Did you think about all the people who are now going to be looking up to you and say, wow, I want to be in her position? The fact that you can overcome these boundaries, because you said it's not really fair to say you were unchallenged. You said you were challenged, right? So how do you see these people who are going to be inspired by you now?
Yeah. I think I've always been inspired by other women of color. And I just always, when I see someone that looks like me in the position that I want to be in, it just encourages me to go for it, right? And so I hope that I could be a source of inspiration for another young girl or another person of color to know that, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. And I think sometimes, and this is one of, one of our goals this semester or this upcoming school year, is to really get law review in front of communities that might not really understand the significance of law review or the value of law review. And I think sometimes in certain communities, it's not necessarily that they don't think that they can do it. Maybe sometimes it's just like lack of knowledge, right? They don't know that it's an opportunity there. And so I think that's one of the great things about highlighting law review right now and being in the position I am as a woman of color, as a Black woman, is that now, other students know that this is an opportunity that they can go forward and, aspire to be in.
Now, in regards to Syracuse University, it's public knowledge that it's not the most diverse school in America. So talk to me about you getting your start in the Syracuse Law Review and really breaking in to get to the position you are now.
Yeah. So there's two avenues to get on Syracuse Law Review. The first is a grade on portion. So at the end of your first year, the top 10% of the class, they're invited on law review. And then another avenue is to, if you meet the GPA requirement, but maybe you are not in the top 10%, you do a write-on competition. And the write-on competition is right after finals your first year. And because grades are not released until after the write-on competition. Most people, whether they're in the top 10 or not, end up doing the write-on competition anyways. And so I did the write-on competition, and it was challenging because it was right after my first year of, like, it was my second semester, but still in my first year of finals. So I was really exhausted. And so it's just one of those things, just trying to challenge yourself to prevail in any circumstance. Because, at that point, I didn't know where I fell in terms of rank. And so I was just doing it in hopes of having that opportunity. Again, it was presented to me because I spoke with other people who were on law review, and I knew how significant it was to be on law review. I also knew how it was going to help my legal writing skills, which is something that I really wanted to work on. And so I made the effort to really learn about law review and learn about how to get on law review and how to succeed while I was on law review. And so, yeah, it was definitely challenging. I think it's challenging for most students, regardless of race, because it's just the work is hard. It's challenging. We're balancing it with being full-time students. And so I think just like, hopefully others see me in this position, they know that like they could balance the work and they can do the work and they can do a great job.
Now, the Syracuse Law Review probably isn't the end game for you. Although you're in the top position of the review, I'm sure you have a long way to go. So tell me, what is next for you? Are you looking ahead already? I know you just got into the office, but you got to have plans ahead of this.
Yeah, right now I haven't even really fully transitioned into the position. So the current editor-in-chief is still in the role. And so my focus really is having a smooth transition and setting out great objectives for the next academic school year. And also, this summer, luckily I have the opportunity to intern at a firm. So I hope to really gain a lot of skills and knowledge just about being a practicing attorney. And I think for me right now, that's my focus, right? I graduated. I still have one more semester and another full year. So there's a lot of, goals in the short term that I need to meet. So that's really my focus right now.
And now looking back at your entire career, or maybe your entire life, what was that defining moment that made you think, all right, I can do this. This is definitely a position I could see myself in one day.
Being editor-in-chief?
Yes.
Well, defining moment that made me, I don't know if there was one moment. I think it's just a combination of all of my experiences. I would say definitely my experience in the workforce, my experience even in pageantry, my experience with nonprofit and leadership when I was at my undergrad. I think the combination of all my experiences made me feel confident that I can be in this position and I can do a good job. So I'm not sure that there was one defining moment. I think there was, a combination of different moments for me.
And flipping to the other side, were there any large setbacks, or was that just a building experience of, those setbacks that really put you in the position you are today?
I don't think there were any setbacks. I would say even volume 71, which is the executive board before us, everyone's been so supportive. And I feel like, my peers, my professors, my mentors, they probably believed in me more than I believed in myself. And they definitely encouraged me to always continue to push myself. So I haven't experienced any setbacks. I think sometimes it's mental, right? Sometimes you doubt yourself. You doubt if you can do this role. And I think, even hearing that I was and learning that I was a first Black editor-in-chief, just, sometimes, in my head, I want to do a great job. I want to be, I want the law review to be successful. So I don't think there's any external setbacks, but I think sometimes as an individual, we may doubt our abilities. And so I think it's more internal, but I've had so much support and I continue to get support from my team, and everyone's just really excited about where the journal is moving forward.
And of course, you touched on everybody that has had an impact on you in the past. So I'm sure you're going to pay it forward in some way. You mentioned one of your objectives before, and you said it was to really get the law review out there and show people that if you could do it, anybody could do it. So what are some of the other goals that you have as you transition into this new position?
Yeah. So I would say as a team, we have a shared vision to just continue the great history and scholarly works that we continue to do since 1949. But each board member has specific goals and visions for their position, and I just really want to support and assist them in reaching those goals. But generally, as a team, we really want to work on fostering a strong community within law review and also with the law school. And so we're going to do more outreach. We're going to work with different organizations on campus to really just get law review in front of different communities. And so we hoped by doing this, we're going to attract a diverse student body and diverse students on the law review.
And now my final question here, are you planning on visiting Ghana again anytime soon?
I think I'm gonna see how things pan out with COVID.
Yeah,
I I am being very cautious, and so I at this time I'm not. I have no traveling plans, but hopefully, the vaccine looks promising, and if things do pan out where it's safe to travel, hopefully I can go back. I do have family there, and it's always nice to go back and visit family and just be there. It's nice. It's beautiful.
That's all the time we have here. I'm here joined by the first ever African-American to be named editor-in-chief of the Syracuse Law Review, Ms. Hilda Frimpong. Hilda, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.